back to the program. It is once again our pleasure to interview Dr. Salib back with us on the program today. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
So today we're going to talk about some things, and we've been laughing about it in the break because we all have these folk stories or myths about all kinds of things in our lives, but specifically today, your area of expertise, and that's vision. So we're going to talk about some things that may be true, maybe not true, and things that a lot of people think. So I know I was always told as a kid, be sure you have plenty of light in the room when you read, because if you don't, it's bad for your eyes.
Well, that's in fact a very common misconception. So I would call that a myth. It is not bad for your eyes to read in dim light. In fact, we've been doing it for centuries. There is a painting by Matthias Stone that shows a young man reading by candlelight. And you could see that he's having no problems. In fact, younger people tend not to have problems with reading in the dark because their lenses of their eyes can focus so much easier. Their lenses are so soft, they focus back and forth quite easily. Their focusing mechanism, the muscles surrounding the lens, are much more effective. In people, starting around the age of 45, you'll notice people starting to hold things a little further from their eyes, needing a little stronger light. And what that light does is it actually constricts the pupil, making your depth of focus a little better. It also increases the contrast that you can see on the paper or whatever you're looking at, so your visualization of whatever you're looking at is much better. Yeah. So it's definitely a myth. It won't harm your eyes to read in the dark.
Of course, we see people in restaurants all the time, either trying to find their reading glasses, in my case, if I don't remember to put it in my pocket, or borrowing it from my wife, or people have these little magnifiers with little lights built in trying to read the small print. Some restaurants have gotten a little more, no pun intended, enlightened and have bigger print or pictures, and they go, yeah, that looks good, I'll have one of those and one of those.
Right,
you know, that works as well, but so the dim light isn't necessarily going to hurt us. We just might need a little more light as we get older, but we're not really hurting our eyes if we try and read in.
Right, exactly.
That's very American to read by candlelight, Abe Lincoln and all that. So,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Good appropriate time with the politics of today. We've talked a lot about cataracts on the program, and you, of course, talked about procedures that are available and the different lens implants and all of that. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to wait until they get really, really bad, really bad, so I can almost not see before I deal with my cataracts. Mm-hmm. Is that a good fact, a bad fact, or true or not true?
Well, they used to call the cataracts getting ripe, and all the time I'll have someone come into my office and say, well, are my cataracts ripe enough to take out? So that's a myth. You don't have to wait till your cataracts are ripe. It stems from, in the past, we used to tell patients that because, and I'm talking maybe about 40 years ago, 30 years ago, cataracts used to be taken out in toto, like in just one big piece, either by prolapsing it out of the eye, out of a large incision, or they used to take a little probe, that's a freezing probe that goes in, attaches to the lens, and then you pull it out. So they had to be a certain ripeness or hardness to take out. But nowadays, with our advanced technologies, you don't need to wait. We use something now called phacoemulsification, which is basically an ultrasound that breaks up the cataract or the lens and sucks it out. Some people even choose to have their lenses taken out before a cataract is really visually significant in their lives.
And I know for a lot of times people are maybe on the borderline getting LASIK or not. If they're a certain age, you might recommend that they do the cataract procedure rather than LASIK, or combine the cataract procedure with some laser tune-up, I guess, for lack of a better word, for lack of a more appropriate medical term, and correct their vision with one shot, with one procedure.
Right, exactly. If you're at a certain time where your cataract is actually becoming significant, it'll be better just to take out the cataract. If your lenses have not yet fully developed a cataract, then it might be a good idea to do LASIK, or you could do a combination of the two.
Right, right. And I understand once someone's had LASIK, they still could have cataracts removed when that becomes necessary.
Oh yes, yeah,
Very
you
good.
certainly can.
All right, here's another one, and boy, I heard this one when I was a kid. Can't watch TV too much because it's going to hurt your eyes, and today I guess the equivalent would be handheld video games, laptop or desk computers. Are we going to hurt our eyes by staring at the computer or watching TV too much? Obviously, we watch TV a lot here at Channel 6, so
right.
We might be in trouble.
Right, right. No, that's a myth as well. In fact, watching TV too much or using a computer too much might have other effects, like it might lead you to have a sedentary lifestyle, less activity. But as far as the eyes go, it's not bad for your eyes. In fact, a lot of kids, for instance, or younger people, have a much easier time focusing up close. So you'll see them holding things closer to their eyes or coming up to the TV to see things a little better. And it doesn't bother them, and it's not going to hurt their eyes. However, if you see a child, for instance, looking at the TV too close all the time, then I would suggest having them see an eye doctor to make sure that they don't need glasses to be able to see. A lot of people have a lot of fatigue when they're reading for a long time or using a computer for a long time, and that's because you tend to blink less when you're seeing these things because you're concentrating. So I have a rule called the 20-20-20 rule, and that's every 20 minutes, take your eyes off your work for about 20 seconds and look at least 20 feet away. And if that's too hard to remember, just every few minutes, just take off your eyes off your work and defocus, like look far away, relax your eyes, and you'll feel a lot better.
Helps if you have a window.
Yes.
Makes it easier. Not everybody in this building has a window. We have some coworkers who have made that an issue with me, as a matter of fact, but that's a whole nother story indeed. A lot of us use glasses for reading, or for driving or whatever. Sometimes I need mine to read the small print on the press releases people send me. Is that going to make my eyes go bad sooner? Am I going to become weaker in my vision because I'll be dependent on my glasses?
That's also a myth. It does not make your eyes dependent on the glasses if you wear them. In fact, what people realize when they put on a pair of glasses is that they can see more clearly. And what they end up doing is they like better vision. So you start wearing the glasses more often because you're used to now seeing things more clearly. But it doesn't make your eyes any worse or dependent on them. In fact, young kids who have lazy eyes, for instance, need those glasses, or else their eyes won't develop the vision ever in that eye. So it's very important to wear glasses, and it doesn't make your eyes any weaker to use them.
We sort of dealt with the last one. Cataract surgery can be done with laser, and we already kind of addressed that yes, in fact, that's happening a lot these days, I understand, that cataract surgery combined with a laser procedure maybe a few days later or whatever is actually very effective.
Yes, that's in fact true. If you would have asked me a question 3 years ago, can cataract surgery be done with laser? I would have probably said no. And in fact, I've told many people in the past that we can't do it with laser. We have to do it only with phacoemulsification, which is a procedure where you use ultrasound basically to break up the cataract. Now we have laser cataract surgery, and it's really been an amazing addition to our surgical armamentarium. In fact, I was the first surgeon in the Western United States to use the latest edition of that LensX laser, and it has been producing very sharp incisions that are very reproducible, very accurate. You can correct for astigmatism, even break up the cataract with that laser, and use about half the amount of energy and time needed to take out the cataract with the phacoemulsification. So yes, we can do laser cataract surgery.
We've progressed a long way from trying to grab it with a frozen probe and pull it out. So
exactly.
a lot of improvements in that area as well. You didn't have my favorite one on here, which my father always said, eat your carrots. It's good for your eyes. And my father wore glasses from high school until the day he died. So maybe he didn't eat enough carrots as well. Can diet, is there good foods for the eye?
There are many good foods for the eyes. Carrots are good, but green leafy vegetables are good that have good antioxidants. If you eat too many carrots, it might even turn your skin yellow. So too much of any good thing is bad, and eating more carrots is not necessarily going to prevent you from wearing glasses or developing any diseases.
Yeah. A lot of our folks are coming up at the end of their club year this year. We start off in January with new activities, all of our clubs, 200 and plus organizations here in the community. I know you're available to speak to clubs and organizations, and you probably would have several different talks you could give on just general good eye health or specifics on cataracts or the use of lasers, and I guess whatever the group might be interested in. As far as time-wise, you can kind of adjust your speech to that?
Yes, of course. If the club would like me to speak, I can come by with a talk and talk about any topic they would be interested in, and I'd be happy to accommodate them for that.
Good. I know we always think about our good health, and certainly vision is very important to all of us. So if you have questions, either to schedule Dr. Salib as your speaker or to have him take a look at your eyes as well and see what's going on there, you can give them a call, and that's 770-1322, Orange County Eye Institute. And again, Dr. Salib, we thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having
getting
me
on the program today. Thanks for being by today. Dispensing some of those myths out there. I guess I'm going to have to not eat quite so many carrots now. We will be coming back with more news and more guests as our Monday program continues for you right here on Channel 6 TV.